We say the seed, Tal, Moto, Racha, B'nei starting from the winter time until Chol Pesach. Instead of the same bracha, if a person forgot and said the same bracha instead of the same Talmud Bavly, he didn't finish the bracha Baruch Atah Hashem V'Orech Hashonim, he goes back to the same Talmud Bavly. He finished that bracha, then he can continue the Shemona Esrei until he gets to the bracha Shema Kaleinu. Avraham Shema Kaleinu. He gets to the end of the middle of the bracha, just before the beginning of the end. At that point, Shema Tfilah Seinu, there he says this line, the same Tal of Wata Lavracha Aparei Harama Chadeinu Mituva. So Mituva, and he finishes the bracha, Yatash Bechilas Kolpeh. If he reminded himself after he said Baruch Atah Hashem Shemei Tfilah, then it's too late. He's got to start Shemona Esrei all over again. This is all that he reminded himself during the Shemona Esrei. The person finished Shemona Esrei. He reminded himself then, of course he has to daven over again. If a person is in doubt, he goes past Orech Aleinu, he's in doubt if he said the same bracha, the same Talmud Bavly. He has to know that he's supposed to say the same Talmud Bavly. He's in doubt, so in case of doubt, if it's within the first 30 days, the first 90 tefillos, which is approximately 30 days, you guys subtract the Shabbosim, first 90 tefillos, which is approximately 30 days, then we take it for granted that he must have done as his habit was. He wasn't concentrating. He just said it through force of habit, and his tongue went along the route that it's accustomed to. Didn't turn off on the new route. So it must have said the same bracha. Therefore, he's in doubt, he's got to say it over again. If it's after the first 30 days, the first 30 times, then we say that most probably he got used to saying already the new way, and no more problems. If we did on, he can go back to sleeping, because surely he will not stray from the path. All this is if all this is if this was during the time we had to say the same Talmud Bavly, he didn't. But during the summertime, yes, say the same bracha, then if he forgot to say the same Talmud Bavly, and he finished the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem V'Orech Hashonim, he cannot go on to Shema Kaleinu. There's no further place to correct it. Wherever he's up there, he has to go back, return back to the bracha Baruch Aleinu. If by the end of Shemona Esrei he forgot, he still didn't go back, then he has to say Shemona Esrei over again. At any time after Baruch Hashonim, he can return to the bracha Baruch Aleinu to say the same bracha. Winter time, he has a chance to catch himself in Shema Kaleinu. Summertime, only the bracha of Baruch Aleinu, and if he finished Shemona Esrei, he has to go back and daven the whole Shemona Esrei over again. Summer or winter, in our case, of course, our problem is only in the summertime. In the summertime, when he's supposed to say Meda Tov, he says Mashiach Alach, he says it over again. He's in doubt, the first 30 days, he says it over again. But there, of course, it's 30 days, it's straight 30 days, because there you have Mashmarach, with Shabbos, Shemona also. So, in order to avoid that, there is a day, the story which says that a person could say the line, Ata Givalina Mashiach Hanisar Mashiach, Mashiach Menachem Mendel 90 times in a row. Say that line 90 times in a row, and this will give you a tongue, smooth practice of it. You get to that line, your tongue will automatically say the right line. Repeat it 90 times and you accustom your tongue to say the right line. There's no way to get your tongue to be awake. Just get it in its sleep to say what you need. And many who are opposed to this idea There's a big machlokes about that. Reese of both sides, interesting machlokes, but it's not time for it. Now, in the case of the Yalav Yavai, getting Yalav Yavai, this is a very important halacha. And it's good, if possible, to hear it once, indelibly describe it to memory, remember it always, because this shaila comes up so often, pitiful, where a person forgets Yalav Yavai because he forgets. There's a nice once where someone, in those days there was a machlokes between the Chassidut and the Misnagdim, the days of Baal Shem Tov. So the machlokes was that the Misnagdim said the Chassidut don't learn. They daven, they drink, they make merry, they dance, but learning, nothing, zero. Comes to knowing anything, nothing. You have to go to the Misnagdim to find out it is. One of them named just Avi Baal Shem Kodesh. Shem Kodesh is he's a miracle person, he performs miracles, he davens, everything, but they never see him learning. So they said, when it comes to learning, he wouldn't compare to the smallest. Listen, let's make fun of Hashem. Let's go ask him a question and catch him in a halacha. This story is brought in the life of Hashem. One of them said, okay, this is what I'll do. We'll go to Hashem, it's easy to make. Hashem said to him, I would like to ask you a Shabbat. You're the Baal Shem, you're the Rebbe. The Rebbe's supposed to answer Shabbat. He said, all right, what's a Shabbat? A Shabbat is what if a person forgets Yalav Yavai? What's the din? Simple Shabbat. The person should know it. Let's see if Hashem knows the answer to this question. Hashem said, well, yes, Yalav Yavai would. He said, great. Well, it depends. So it depends. There's no machlokes. There's no debate. Here there's no question. That's a straight law. There's no two ways. You can't divert it all. What do you mean it depends? Depends on what? Hashem said it depends on who forgets. He said, what do you mean? He said, it depends on who's saying this ministry. How? He said, well, if I'm saying it, I won't forget. And if you say it, there's no sense saying it because if you get the second time too. That's what depends. Well, here you give the answer. So, a question like that deserves an answer like this. That's why it pays to know the answer in case you ever become broke. They want to test you to know the answer to this question. The Yalav Yavai is said in the weekdays, the Shchedish, which comes out on weekdays, or Chol Hamoed, Pesach and Chol Hamoed Sukkot. Not on Chol Hamoed Shavuos, because Shavuos is 1 day, remember? 2 days Shavuos and Chutz La'aretz is 1 day. So, in these days, on Chol Hamoed, it is a stricter din. Simple, if a person forgets to say Yalav Yavai on Chol Hamoed, or if he is in doubt, he must say the Shemini Esrei again. Period. Same as Yentiv. Same as Yentiv itself. If you get Yalav Yavai, you're in doubt, you say no question. The Shchedish has a different set of din. The Shchedish, if it's Shachas and Mincha, he forgets or is in doubt, he must say Shemini Esrei again. If he gets Yalav Yavai from Musaf, what's the halacha? And the Shchedish? What? You don't say Yalav from Musaf. Yes, Shachas or Mincha, you do not, you say, if you forget, you say it over again. Barav, Shchedish, Barav, you do not say Shemini Esrei over if a person forgets. Clear. If there's 2 days of the Shchedish, both nights are the same. You do not say the Shemini Esrei over in case you're either in doubt or even if you're sure you forgot it. Therefore, what if a person is in the middle of Shemini Esrei? He goes past the bracha. Yalav Yavai is just before Masech Hazeh Neinu. And he says, Masech Hazeh, if he gets the Yalav Yavai, he goes past the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem Atayim Shimcho L'Chonei Elohidus. Until he says that Baruch Atah Hashem He says, I'll be right where he is, no problem. And if he says the Menachem Mendel Schneerson like this, then he goes back to the tzei, the beginning of that unit. He goes back to the tzei if he went past that bracha. In other words, if he read himself just before he walked back 3 steps, he can still save himself by going back to the tzei. Once he walked back 3 steps, it's too late. But at night, if not only does he not have to say this rest over again if he forgot to say it, but even if he forgot to say it and reminded himself after the bracha, he doesn't go back to the tzei, he doesn't say it at all. It's lost. He's lost it right there. Not only right there, but even if he finishes the first bracha, he's lost it. There too, he has lost the Galilee. And not only that, even if he just said it's Hashem, he said the Sechazena, Baruch Atah Hashem, then he said Hashem, he goes on, and there's no more Galilee for that night. For that night, you have to be very careful to stay alert, wide awake, because it's very easy, even if you think, I gotta say Alviyah, I gotta say, he says the word, next one is fast, Baruch Hashem, you got lost, just like that. With the thought of the Alviyah in his mind, without hearing about it, you can't think of 2 things. The Alviyah, one thing, the Elon's tongue is going further, so he's pulled both ways and he finds himself torn apart in the middle without having said the Alviyah. The thing is to try to pull himself together, and this is what the Arizal says, the greatest kayach of all, it's called the Merkava. The Kishur HaMerkava, Kishur Merkava. Merkava HaKadosh is Yemini B'Yichod, it's for Yavir, for Malach on all sides, the 4 directions, the Defense Malchus. This Kishur Merkava, Arizal says, what is it? By binding the Merkava, bind the holy chariot of heaven. It means to bind, tie together, very tightly, bind together, mind and the tongue. Keep those 2 together. Don't let it be separate because they go way opposite paths. The mind and the tongue be on the same path together, bound together. Every word the tongue says, the mind is controlling. Not when the mind is thinking about something else, and the tongue goes on its merry way without any control whatsoever. That's called Kishur Merkava. That's meant by true kavanah during davening. So these are the minimum of getting Galilee. This, of course, is all darkness. Shikha is hachoshech. Let's be zecher to the true light of the Merkava. But we will not forget zecher to, because forgetting is fatally for, it's called the nukva. The whole piece on that Arizal explains why a person, some people tend to forget, they learn and they forget. The explanation, and that's a topic in itself. Just suffice it to say that be a man and not a mouse, or be a man and not a housewife. Because being a man means remembering. Zohar, the Lashon Zohar, memory is being a man. That's why it's a man has to learn Torah, because women anyhow is spirit, it's shikha. So let's be zecher to the true oil and to the true zikorin and the Torah which is chayim for him. Who has made a mistake in his Shemon said the wrong thing, or he omitted what he was supposed to say, and therefore, because of that, he must go back and repeat the Shemon If he reminded himself, as soon as he finished Shemon he's not allowed to move right back and start again. There must be a pause in between both Shemon You can never have 2 Shemon immediately one after the other. When he goes back, he finishes the first one, he goes back, and stay where he is, and wait for the time it would take him to walk 4 hours, or wait for a comfortable period of time, and then, in other words, a few seconds, enough ample seconds to show there is a definite pause, and then start the second Shemon If the Chazan himself, Chazan is not infallible, Chazan daven Shemon with the Aharon, and he forgets to say he says the wrong thing, which means he has to daven this over again. Now, if he's going to do that, people have to wait for him. It's pity of the people to have to spend so much time waiting. So he may rely upon the Chazoros Hashatz. He's in stage where that's already allowed. And they rely upon that to be Yitzhak with that to make up for what he missed. But if he made a mistake in the first three brachas, which means like Moshe Feinstein, I think I should be saying then he could he'd make him go back to the beginning again. We'll go back to the beginning again if it's still okay like Kodesh. So, for example, he said Moshe Feinstein, and he reminded himself after he said the Chaya Mason. So he's still in the middle of the first three brachas, he's got to go back. It can start, instead of continuing on wrongly, he may start again the Shemini Esrei because there's very little time period involved. He reminds himself, though, after Akel HaKodesh, then he's not supposed to go back anymore. Finish Shemini the way he is, and rely on the next Shemini, the loud one, to the exit. In case of a Titus, when you say Anenu, by Shema Kalinu, if he gets to Anenu, there's no necessity to go back. But what he could do to make up for it is at the end of the Kainet Tzor, just before he walks back 3 steps, he can say Anenu there, without any bracha at all, just say the prayer for Anenu, and he's Yetz. Now the din of the Chazoros Hashatz, when the Chazan repeats the Shemini Esrei, Chazan himself, when he finishes Shemini Esrei, he should wait there too for a few moments before he goes back. And then he starts with Hashem Sosai Tiftoch silently, that is. There are some who are unaware of that. And he says, Baruch Atah Hashem, Aloud. Every person is required to listen very carefully. And during the time of Chazoros Hashatz, it is forbidden for a person to talk, actually. Except in case of emergency, to answer. But people who sit around talking while the Chazan is repeating Shemini Esrei, that's a grave error. Very, very serious error. We'll understand from such what this means. The Arizal says the Fedish, Chaim Talzal testified that Arizal always, during Chazoros Hashatz, always stood with his eyes closed, just like he did during Shemini Esrei himself. Because Chazoros Hashatz is still part of the Elam Atzilus. So if a person cannot do that, well, that's fine, to stand with his eyes closed, at least if he can stand, it's additional credit for it. He's going to sit, but not to talk. And not to chas v'sholom, this one single omeid. Every omeid, don't forget there is chas v'sholom l'cherim. Zohar Kodesh says that the word tzadik is what is required of a person every day in davening. Tzadik, Talmud Yud Kuf, Tzadik 90, Talmud 4, Yud 10, Kuf. Tzadik stands for the requirement for davening is Tzadik Ameinu. 90 times the answer Amen during davening. Talmud Kedushos, there are 4 times that say Kedusha, Kedush, Kedush, Kedush. And Yud, the 10, what? The Kuf is 100 brachas. So that if a person misses one of these, he's destroying the first letter of the word tzadik in tefillah. Never to miss any amen. But in no conditions. If a person wants to speak to somebody, and he's supposed to hold him off and say, I'm busy. Very, very occupied now with the King of Kings, with Hashem, and I can't neglect Hashem to speak to an ordinary mortal. This would teach the person who's trying to talk to him that he should have a proper credits for tefillah. If there is an emergency, he's got to answer. A shaila came up. He's allowed to answer a shaila, but very carefully, not to miss the bracha. In any event, the person should see to it that he should pay attention to the Chazoros Hashatz. and see that there is a minion who answers. If the Chassid davens himself, there's no minion answering Omeid, that too is a shaila if he's Yetzer at all. A lot of davesh mitzvah without the minion answering. So, Chazal Hashatz, people should realize that this is not a rest period. This is not a recess where you relax. So you're supposed to give the same coverage as during the top part of the tefillah. And then the Chazal he pieced the Shemona Esrei, Chazal Hashatz. And as we said, the dinner you must have 10 people, 9 people listening at least, to make up a million. Because if not, there's a shaila whether his brachas are all Torah. Each one is responsible then. You have one person with a million, 1 out of 10 who's not paying attention. He's not just losing himself, the answering of Amen, Chas v'Shalom. Also, he's spoiling it for all the others, and for the Chazan too, who's saying a bracha, is commit about Torah. That's why the Chazan should see to it also that if you say the brachas clearly, she'll answer, and allow a moment for the answering of Amen between the brachas. It says here that there are some people who are doing after Kedusha, they take off their tefillin with Asher Kodesh, they put on tefillin in a tongue. They are not doing properly. They did. Why? Because they might miss listening to a bracha, answering Amen, they're occupied with taking up any tefillin. So, therefore, the time to do this is after Alinum. You want to put on the entire food, you put on it after that. This is what he says. And of course, this is, as he says, K'tzas Noyagin, it's more like K'tzas, the elite. You see that most places where they have people who bedactic very much on children in the town, bedactic to put it on at Chazal Hashatz, and in order to alleviate our doubts, to dispel any doubts we might have, like Arizal himself, or Rosenfeld used to put on children in the town during Chazal Hashatz, so that should complete that. Notice how it's tied in with one mitzvah and another mitzvah. During the time of Kedusha, Kedusha, so we said, of course, the person waits back 3 steps till the Chaz gets up to Kedusha. The person walks forward, starts Kedusha. During Kedusha, the feet should be together exactly the same as during Shemona Esrei. There's no difference, because that's like part of Shemona Esrei itself. And when he says the 3 lines, Kadesh, 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 he should raise himself on the soles of his feet, raise himself upwards 3 times. This is, the feet together, supposed to resemble angels, whose feet are solid to one. Angels have 1 foot. Also, they fly. So they raise themselves and fly. This is how they're supposed to be. The person without saying Kedusha should be like the Menachem, who also say Kedusha. Kedusha is for Menachem too. Also, the same Shemona Esrei, exactly the same. Some people say Kedusha, so they think it's no more supposed to stand and look around. Same rule applies to Kedusha. You have to have your eyes closed, just like doing Shemona Esrei, or looking into the sitter. The person during Kedusha cannot look around, cannot relax like he's finished. When the Chazan gets up to Midyan, we say Midyan D'Rabbanan. So, he's supposed to bow, just the head, and say D'Rabbanan. And if he is in the middle of Shemona Esrei, then, if he's in the middle of a bracha, he can bow his head for Midyan. Just to bow his head alone. If he's in the beginning of a bracha, the end of a bracha, it's forbidden, because we said it's forbidden to bow any bracha except the 4, the 2. First, the Midyan, the Chassidut at the end. Beyond that, it's forbidden for a Jew to bow at the beginning or end of any bracha at all, even in a case like this. If he's caught in the middle of a bracha, he's allowed to bow, incline his head, and join with the others. If not, it's in the beginning of the bracha, he just ended the bracha, he's not allowed to bow at all. What the Chazal says, Bechas Kehanim. Really, so of course we have regular Bechas Kehanim. Here we don't have Bechas Kehanim, so the Chazal says like kiruv Yaakov. Moshe Feinstein to Rosenfeld. So he's supposed to. He says each one is supposed to answer R Nosson B'schus Avraham Steinhartz. The second part of that bracha, there are 60 letters in that bracha. Second part of the Chudeka is supposed to answer the R Nosson B'schus Avraham. The Shalom is B'schus Yaakov and I never want to show him. So some people answer Amen for each one. That's a very big mistake. In fact, it's brought that a person who does that, it proves it's an abundance. It's one of these rare times for it's that important. Stress that with that much severity. It says that it is definitely a big error to answer Amen when the Chazal says Menachem Mendel Schneerson. Except when there is actual duchening, then you answer Amen for the Kahanas. When they say these words, you answer Amen. And that's where the mistake comes from. When duchening, you answer Amen. The Chazal says that people under the pressure answer Amen too, which is definitely wrong. Because he's not saying the bracha of the Kahan itself. So that's why there should be no Amen answer after the Chazal when he says these words. This is Bechas Kehanim. It's said for Shachris, Musaf, and never for Mincha, except when it's said as Sibur. Because there is no duchening for Mincha. Kehanim cannot duchen after they've eaten. In the afternoon, they've already eaten, you're afraid they drank, they are not in order. A shikker might be slightly inebriated, there's a penalty for Kain, Beis Hamikdash if he's drunk to death. Therefore, we do not have the duchening for Mincha, except in the case of a day of a tinus, we fast, and we do have it for Mincha. Also, it is not said Tisha B'Av in the morning either, even though it's a tinus. It's not said in the morning, but it is said in the afternoon. When the Chazan finishes the Tzilah, Chazan Hashatz, he is a Shalom, he is supposed to say silently to himself, either that's what they feed, the last posek was Dinot V'Yinda Neshmenashrei. He's not saying the kind of sign, he says that posek, and then he says whatever comes next. Mincha, Kaddish, and Shachris, you have the Tachtun, or Shabbos, Shkedish, Hallel, or Shabbos Kaddish, whatever it is, the Chazan, when he finishes Rosh should say the Yehi Ratzon before he goes on to anything else. We should be zecher too, I tell you the mitzvahs Tila, the Abitech Ava, the Simcha, the children is Kabbalah Rotzen.
Tadrikim Torah כמה שפטים נכתבו לי חזר החטאתר,
טוב. Because if you can make it before the Chazanah or during the Chazanah. So the way you can make is, but if you cannot make it, most of you cannot make it before the Chazanah. If you just miss it, you don't make the Chazanah. So they make it afterwards. You walk into some shuls, you find them all, whole shuls, wasn't the times 20. And it's a regular procedure in the Chazanah then. But they do it quietly where they can hear the brachas. That's the point. Even though we say that we are doing it, change the children, doing Chazanah and shots, but we're also doing it, doctoring very much in the Esri Yomi. Yeah, that's when you get married. You're a chassid will teach you how to do it. It's one of what this.
And there's no two brachas, part of Aharon.
There's a lot of Bavly, yes. You can't answer, of course, but there's a lot of Bavly. supposed to have a minyan before you can daven, before you can say a davish kedusha, like saying Bachel, kedusha, kriyas atayda, Hazvaras Hashatz, requires a minyan of 10 people. Must be 10 people present. But in order to be Yetzir with Tefillah at Tzibur, then you have to have not just 10 people present, but at least the majority actually davening. In other words, you have to have at least 6 people present. Of those 10, davening together. The other 4 are enough to sit by and answer to make up the rest of the 10. There's a big shaila as to whether that constitutes actual tefillah b'tzibur. Big machlokes in halacha. Machlokes halacha means present day halacha. And Shulchan is difficult to arrive at any conclusion. Presently, in our time, the big machlokes, whether a person is really Yetzir tefillah b'tzibur, even if there are 10 people in the shul, 6 of them are davening, and 4 are sitting by to make up the minyan. For example, Moshe Feinstein writes a number of times, you see a number of times in his sefer, but he writes that a person is not Yetzir tefillah b'tzibur. You're allowed to say Bachel, you have 10, you're allowed to say kedusha, but you're not Yetzir tefillah b'tzibur, the mitzvah tefillah b'tzibur Yetzir, you haven't got 10. There are others who are chelik very strongly against that today. I think there are who are very strongly opposed to that reasoning. They maintain, they insist that if there are 6 persons, Yitzvah, tefillah b'tzibur too. So naturally, if we have people have only 6 present or davening out of 10, they of course would hold with the opposing side of you, the Yitzvah tefillah b'tzibur. Whichever pays off, that's the one it's a side in favor. But it's important to know, though, that if a person really wants to get all days, should see to have a solid minyan. Minyan of 10 people who are davening or participating in the davening itself. Now, it is possible, too, that you can have Bachel and Kedusha, not to be entertained. Bachel and Kedusha you can have even if there is no one, that is just one person davening. The other 9 have already davened, just standing by. A person can make a bachel, can make a kedusha, if there are 9 other people in the shul. It's called Peres Ashma. A person can do that to be Yetzir for himself with a bachel or a kedusha, or to be see another person. Let's say that there are 9 people in the shul, 10 people in the shul, and of those 10, 3 of them have not davened yet. One of them can get up and say, make a bachel and kedusha. You might see the other 2 also. It's at least zecher to hear a bachel and kedusha, because again, a person does not hear a bachel chas v'shalom. He walks around the whole day. What is he called? He is called a zombie. Frozen dead. He walks around without a neshama at all. If he does not hear bachel in the morning, he walks around without a neshama whatsoever, because the neshama re-enters into this zombie when he hears bachel. Picture the lot of those people that are Islam who very coldly daven at home b'yechidus. Very coldly. The person is not a tzadik. Tzadik is called chai. The person not tzadik is called the base. If he's very cold about it, he's a frozen dead. And that's why it is so vital for a person to live with his neshama by davening in tzibur every morning. Worst accident happens, at least he should hear a bachel. This is the importance, aside from the plus of many other items that are brought. Arizal says in the Zohar Kodesh, person can say to him that whole day, only that he misses and so on. It's impossible to stress enough the importance of fluency. Well, it's interesting to note that at the din of Negas and Muslim, the benching, we also have a din of tzibur. We want to say, if you want to bench with a million, the Zubad is benching with 3. The Warech Shachalu Mishalai. You have the Zubad of 3 people benching, eating together. If you have a million of 10, then you say the Warech Elokeinu Shachalu Mishalai. The Warech Elokeinu. The Keinu means that there is a million. We say the Warech Elokeinu. Because Tesus says that it's supposed to say Kiruv. There are other days, like the Tikuney Zohar, the Arizal, who say the Warech Leilai Kiruv, directly in opposition to Tesus' Warech. Tesus is very strong on that point. And I've seen some people who do say the Warech Leilai Kiruv. Somehow we've gotten into a minigat. The Warech Leilai Kiruv is ridiculous. In any event, this Lekeinu is set for a million of 10. What if you have, not everyone has washed? For instance, in 3, like the Zuman, you have 2 people who washed. One person could take a fruit, or a piece of cake, make a bracha on it. He can join the other 2 from the Zuman and say the Water Shachon Shabbat. In case of a million, if you have, not all 10 have washed, you can have some who make a bracha on fruit or cake, and they can be counted as part of the 10. When you have a million for davening, one of the other davening, what they million, laid, and so you need at least 6 people who are davening together. 4 can shift the answer. Benching, in order to make it a quorum, make it a majority, 6 are not enough. You have to have at least 7 washed, the other 3 to make a bracha on fruit or cake. So this is a strange item. Why is the majority of davening different than the majority of eating and benching? Why by davening, the majority of 6 is enough to make it into a million? By eating, if you have 6 people who washed, you cannot say the bracha like you have to have dafka 7 who washed, the other 3 to say regular bracha. What's the difference between davening and eating? Anybody offer an answer to that question? I've never seen an answer to it, just that I've heard. As a child, I heard an answer. And it's been kicked around so often since then, I presume that when I heard it as a child, this answer, it must have been heard by our forefathers also as children. It must be an old answer. It's said as a put you down. In other words, you have a kasha, you spread on your kasha 1, 2, 3. What bothers you? Why davening you have to have davening 6 people are enough? And why by eating you have to have 7 to make a million? The answer is it hurts you so much if another Jew eats. Have another Jew eating, so another Jew would have another lot of food to make up the million. But one more Jew inside the meal. That's why to have this million that makes a million you need 7. If that's the real answer, no one accept the answer. It's a free country. But you have to come up with a better one. Of course, that the din is mentioned Shemlach. There are reasons given, but that's for discussion now. So we say that there is a requirement of 6 for a million, and you cannot say impeach Yerushalmi without these 10 people present, of which 6 are not. If you said previously that the person makes a mistake in davening, he has to repeat the Shemona Esrei. And then the same thing applies to a chazan. The chazan davens as well as a shatz. If he makes a mistake, if he says Medet HaTol. He says, Moshe Ruach, instead of Medet HaTol, in the summertime, and they don't catch him until he is finished part of Shemesri, or until he's finished the entire Shemesri even. He's got to say Chazar Hashatz over again, the entire thing, start from scratch. Or anything like that. Talmud Bavly, same thing, especially during the Yisrael Sibei he says, Akel HaKadosh instead of Lo HaKadosh, they repeat the Shemesri. Every time he doesn't repeat Shemesri, he forgets to say Yalav Yavai Chazar Hashatz on Shchedish or Chalamayim. He doesn't say Yalav Yavai then we rely on Musaf. Musaf will cover for Chazar Hashatz. Otherwise, if he gets anything at all, he's the same din as the Yochid, he's got to repeat it over again. He does not repeat the Shemona Esrei over again. That's the only exception to this rule. Otherwise, the Chazan repeats it too. It's especially dangerous if he wants mentioned in Seisei Rishon. If he has to say Melech HaKadosh, he says Akel HaKadosh, they don't catch him in time, he's got to start over again the whole thing and say Kedusha again the second time. That's why it pays for a person to keep himself awake, whether he's davening for himself or davening for the Yom as a Chazan. Stay awake, concentrate on what you're saying, don't make any mistakes, have the right Torah, should all be zeichet to very clear minds. Have a clear mind, these clear minds to be able to be clear, to absorb data, and to discover what true Kabbalah feel for a person to say Kedusha with the tzibur. Certain brachas that are most important above all else. The bracha of Akel HaKadosh is more, the Omeid after Akel HaKadosh is more important than any other bracha. Any other bracha as far as being masik, and after Shmei Tfilah. It's so important that even in the middle of Kriyat Shema, you're allowed to answer Omeid to that. Since it's that important, also Menachem Mendel Schneerson, since it's that important, the person should not miss those items. How can we miss those items? The Chazan is repeating the Shemona Esrei, and he is just starting Shemona Esrei, he's going to miss all those items. So if he sees he's going to miss these items, he's not allowed to start Shemona Esrei. He must wait, not by the bracha of Zohar Yisrael, because he cannot be masik there, but a little bit before that, by Shira Chadasha, he should wait until Chazan gets through these items, and then he should start himself. Or else he should see to it to get at least to Yiddish some shalom and say you're not so there he can answer all these things. It is that if a person misses davening, let's say that he was in business, he was very absorbed, very preoccupied to the point where he forgot to daven mincha. He was so absorbed in his business appointment that he suddenly realized it's dark. It's dark, if you got to daven mincha, what happens now? This, of course, is an Easter, an Abla. He lost out on his mincha, but the Torah provides for the means of making up for it, the make-up Shemona Esrei. It's called Tfilas Tashlumin. Tashlumin, to make up for the Tfilah he missed. So if he missed Tfilah, of course, means Shemona Esrei always. The basic part of Tfilah is Shemona Esrei. He missed davening mincha. What does he do? After Meinev, he finishes the Shemona Esrei of Meinev, then he waits a few minutes, a few moments, the time that it takes to walk about 4 hours, a few seconds. Then, it's after he comes back again. He stays at a spot, he waits there, and then he goes back again, and he says, he davens another Shemona Esrei, to make up for the mincha he missed. The person who went to sleep at night, if he got to daven Ma'ariv. The next morning, he davens Shachas, he davens 2 Shemona Esreis. one for Shachris and one to make up for Mincha. If he gets a daven Shachris, he misses his Mincha for Shachris, he davens 2 Shmoneh Esrei for Mincha. Now this Shmoneh Esrei for that he makes up, the make-up Shmoneh Esrei, must be said immediately after the Shmoneh Esrei that he's davening at present. Always the first Shmoneh Esrei he davens is the one he's at now. For instance, if he forgot a daven Maidav, and he's davening Shachris 2 Shmoneh Esrei, the first one is Shachris. The second one is last night's. You don't go in order last night. Now let's see if he got a daven Mincha. Comes at night, he doesn't daven the first Mincha for the second Mincha and then Ma'ariv. He davens first the one that's now. The present one is Ma'ariv. Then he has a chance afterwards to make, because it's Smucha L'chav, they can make up the Shmoneh that he missed, the Mincha one. Always the one he's davening now comes first. That's very important. Very big chiluk is did, because the Shmoneh Esrei are usually different. The one from Ma'ariv you'll say Shalom Rov, or for you'll say Sim Shalom. Or if it's a weekday in the Shabbos, if you got a daven Mincha Friday afternoon, what happens on Friday night? He davens Shabbos Tekesh Ma'ariv, and then he davens the second Shmoneh Esrei, again the Shabbos Tekesh Ma'ariv to make up for Mincha. The first one goes for Shabbos Ma'ariv, the second one goes for Friday's Mincha. Although Friday's Mincha and Shabbos Ma'ariv are 2 different worlds apart, still one can make up for the other. One could make up for the other. Either Shabbos, the weekdays of Shabbos, the weekdays at the next tefillah, make up for the one that was just missed. It is impossible to make up for 2 tefillahs back. The person missed Shachos, and he also missed Mincha, and if Ma'ariv he reminds himself, he can only make up for the tefillah's Mincha, the one that's closest to it. You cannot make up for 2 back, that's impossible. First, if they got down both Mincha and Ma'ariv, the next morning, you can only atone for the Ma'ariv, but not for the Mincha tefillah. In between these 2 Shmoneh Esrei, we have the problem. There are different days. I don't want to get involved because a person can always take out a Shulchan and show what it says differently. I only say that for Shachris and for Mincha, all agree that the space between the first and second Shmoneh Esrei is the time it takes to say Ashrei. Not only the time it takes to say Ashrei, but you should say Ashrei. You should say Ashrei first. In other words, the morning, for example, when they got Ma'ariv, you daven the Shmoneh Esrei, and when it comes to Ashrei Volotzias, you say Ashrei, and then you daven the second Shmoneh Esrei. The Ashrei should be in between. Mincha, you want to daven missed Shachas, so you daven the Shmoneh Esrei for Mincha, and then after the Shmoneh Esrei you say the Ashrei, and then say the second Shmoneh Esrei for Shachas. The Ashrei in between 2 Shmoneh Esrei. When it comes to Ma'ariv, first Ma'ariv time wants to make up the Shmoneh Esrei for Mincha, and then there are different days. Ma'ariv, you finish Ma'ariv, some say that you wait. It says here, you wait 4 hours, you don't say anything, and then you daven the second Shmoneh Esrei to make up for this. Others, some people, at least that's what we do, we always say Ashrei in between. Even after Ma'ariv, if we don't always say it, but we don't forget the Shmoneh Esrei. We don't forget daven. But I'm going to say behold, because that's not the Svara, the sinners, the logic is more weighty towards the side of saying Ashrei after Ma'ariv 2, between the Ma'ariv Shmoneh Esrei and the Mincha Shmoneh Esrei that was missed. There should always be an Ashrei between these Shmoneh Esreis. That's, of course, if you look at the Kitzur, you'll find it differently. But it's an easier thing to remember, so that alone is worth the whole night between 2 Shmoneh Esrei and Ashrei. Especially, of course, the person no matter how taught he is, should not miss davening. Now all this, we said now, this whole thing revolves around one case. If a person accidentally forgot to daven a tefillah, mincha, he can make up for it the next semester. If this was deliberate, he neglected it. He was lazy. He didn't daven. The person did it out of laziness. There's no way he can make up for it anymore. That's lost as a shalom permanently. It's a pshia, a deliberate act. There's no way to make up for it in the semester. It's only if it was an accident. The word accident, though, they did is very liberal. Because let's say a person was tired, he was drowsy, and then he just dozed off in the late afternoon. He woke up with a start and he saw that it's dark. He missed mincha. How do you doze off at a time when you know it's getting dark? Still, it's considered an einus, an accident, and he's allowed to make up for another time. The person was in business. He knows he has 1 hour left to sundown. He's busy with a customer. He knows, I must have mincha. Stop and daven. He doesn't stop and daven. He talks to the customer further. And he just forgets about time. He gets so absorbed. So it's his fault. He knew what was going to happen. He knew this was going to happen. Because he became so absorbed. So it's sort of too an accident. His mind just wandered. He lost that. That's accidental. But if he was fully conscious throughout, deliberately let the time slip by, where he could have easily put daf easily mean that there was the time and place was available, then he is guilty of a pshia, a mezid, and there's no way he can make up for that tefillah. So again, we have the tefillah must be close to the one the one that's missed must be said the following tefillah, not later. And also, it must be the same as the following tefillah, exactly. It must be said after the following tefillah. The first tefillah is the present one. The second one is the one that was missed. Which is to the true bracha of the Tikuney the kedusha. Remember to forget of the kedusha of tefillah and in Torah. This way, after the Chazorah as we finish with this, we say Takman, the Tefillas HaPayim. This is a continuation of the Shmonesrei, actually. This Tefillas HaPayim is still in Elam HaTzilus, way back to Elam HaBriyah. Tefillas HaPayim, the Zohar Kodesh says, it's done according to Din. It must be done sitting. There's no seat around a person who knows sitting too. It must be done sitting, first thing. Secondly, it must be done Tefillas HaPayim where the forehead is placed on the arm. The arm, not on the hand, or the palm, or the back of the hand, but on the arm section. And the particular set. Third, it must be said only in a place where there is a sefer Torah. A person davens as a shalom home. There's no sefer Torah. He's supposed to say tachman, but say it standing, and not the philosophy. You fall, your head falls forward on the arm. Must be a sefer Torah present. Now, the first halacha in the Tefillas HaPayim, we get back to what the Zohar says. First halacha is that the time the person davens Shmonesrei until the time he finishes the Tefillas HaPayim, he should not talk out. Which means that during Chazoras HaShatz, he's not supposed to talk at all. Even let's say for mincha also you should not talk. You should never talk about the shachas especially. Where there is tachman, the person should not be machzik between Shmonesrei and tachman. When he does, he loses the main value of tachman. Now in tachman you have two types of death. This is where Lady Kodesh explains to us, and the Menachem explains too, about these two. One, our meaning today is to say the Tachnun after we say the Shleshus Levidos, Hashem Hashem Kedach Machaneh Chassimus. Then we sit down, place our forehead down, we start with Rachel Machaneh Chatoshi L'Chanecha. We do not say this posek written in the Siddur of Migdal, the Yom Governor of God. That is definitely skipped. We say Rachel Machaneh Chatoshi L'Chanecha with our hands down. That's the Filas HaPayim. You know, in the Siddur, there's another capital, Dava Yalech Hashem Nafshi Esra. That was originally the one to say to the Filas HaPayim. This was stopped by us, the Sfardim still say it probably. Then it should be stopped. But they're better off. The second kapitel, which was the original one, Filas HaPayim meant to say with the second one, Dava Yalech Hashem Nafshi Esra, is a kapitel where you have the Aleph Beis. The Aleph Beis in order, except that we note that there is no letter Beis, there's no posek with the letter Beis, there's no posek with the letter Vav, and no posek with the letter Kuf. This makes up you have the letter Pei at the end after the letter Tav. So you have the Kuf, the Vav, and also the letter Pei is Atzkali in a different place. Make up the word Kaif, which means an ape. This is an ape. What does the ape got to do with this tefillah? Zohar goes explains that there's a certain type of kaif, a certain type of ape or a monkey who lives in a part of a jungle where his life is in constant danger. There are wild animals that can literally tear him apart. What defense is he blessed with? Every animal who's weak at least has something to defend itself with. What is his defense? This kaif is smart. He's a wise monkey, but he knows how to save his life. When he sees one of these wild animals coming to attack him, he simply lays down and plays dead. And he plays so dead that the animal coming towards him looks at him, examines him, and leaves. Because wild animals do not touch dead bodies. They eat only those that they kill themselves. This is the kaif's defense. Now, the Zohar Kodesh says that we say this kapitel, because this is a means of being saved from the Malach HaMavis. The Malach HaMavis wants to kill a person. How? He has the person at odds. After the person has most of his neshama gone during the night. He has him now as an easy victim. Plus, as a kiruv, overnight he brings all the charges possible against the person, his sins and so on. So he could, something Malchamavis could take the person's life. What should a person do? He should play dead. He places his head down on his arm as though he is dead. How is he dead? He gives himself over, Mesiras Nefesh, to Hashem. Hashem takes him. This way he is saved from the Malach HaMavis. Now this, of course, is very dangerous. A person plays too hard, as Hashem, it's like saying a Kriyat Shema. It's too much Mesiras Nefesh. A person of nature, he's actually being killed by Kriyat Shema. Mesiras Nefesh, he could actually lose his neshama, lose his life. It has to be done with a limit. Still, this plain dead is a case where a person is considered as though he actually was Mesiras Nefesh, and his sin, possible sin which he must pay with a death penalty, is forgiven. That's how he is saved. This is one reason. Death, saving oneself